Hello, my friends. Today we will talk about something interesting for you. It will be about COVID-19 pandemic and nanotechnology-based approach to fight with it. Okay, you can see here these are our contents. And first, I will give a general um, idea about virus and structure of it, and then I will give information about the life cycle of the SARS-CoV-2, and then how to fight with it. I will explain this, and also then my friends will uh, explain how to detect and inactivate SARS-CoV-2, and then we will conclude it. So, if we take a closer look to this virus, we are talking about small infectious agents, which is about 100 nanometer in diameter. And you can see here, this is structure of the virus, and this virus, on the surface of this virus, there's envelope, and it is actually lipid layer, and on the lipid layer, there are surface proteins, and this is spike proteins. It helps this virus to bind to host cell, and also in the surface there's capsids, which include enzymes, and you can see here this is RNA, which has genetic material to make it reproduce itself, but it needs host cell to reproduce. It can't reproduce itself by itself, so um, it needs a host cell to copy its genetic material. Okay, so this COVID, this virus, how binds to the host cell, or if you want to prevent this virus to bind this host cell, we should understand the mechanism. We should understand the life cycle of it. Generally, okay, there are many virus types, but this is general pattern of life cycle of the virus. This is SARS-CoV-2, and there are spike proteins on it. These spike proteins are activated thanks to the TMPRSS2 enzyme, which is on the host cell surface. And this spike protein binds to ECE2 receptor, so it can go through the host membrane, and this is endosome, so virus goes through the endosome, and because of the low pH of endosome, this vesicle uh, is uncoated, and this RNA, which is the genetic material of the virus, will be released to cytoplasm of the host cell so it can reproduce itself. Okay, but we need to prevent this binding if we wanna fight with this COVID. So how can we do that? There are three methods to block EC2 binding. First one, thanks to the first one can be done with the help of recombinant EC2 protein, which is recombinant protein. It is recombinant because it is made in laboratory using recombinant technology. You can think it is like a fake protein. It's like a trap for virus, so it prevents this virus to be uptaken by host cells. And the second one, vaccination. We all get vaccination, of course, to fight with COVID. How? It has antibodies, and these antibodies act like a interfere between EC2 and S protein. So again, it's block EC2 binding. Third one, inhibition of host proteases. As I said before, TMPRSS2 is an enzyme, and it helps is spike protein to bind to EC2 receptor. So if we inhibit it, we can block EC2 binding. Okay, nanomaterial based approach, and there are nanomaterial therapy, nanotechnology based approach to fight with COVID-19, to fight with COVID. 19 and the therapy of it. As you can see here, uh, yeah, this is mask, and we are protecting ourselves by using mask. It is a personal protective equipment, and it has layers, so COVID can't go through the mask and can't go through our lungs, of course. And also, this is inhalator, and it has drug, and this drug goes through the alveoli, and it inhibits this EC2 and S protein binding. To activate immune system, also we are using nanomaterial-based vaccines and immunomodulation. And also to inactivate SARS-CoV-2, as I said before, there are antibodies to block EC2 binding and nanomaterial-based phototherapy methods. Let's check these methods. One of them is photodynamic therapy, other one photothermal therapy. If we look at this photodynamic therapy, there's drug, and this drug absorbs light energy and it transfers to oxygen, and ROS, which is reactive oxygen species, uh, will be produced. So it will cause cytotoxicity. And let's look at the photothermal therapy. It is a minimally invasive method, and shining light will generate heat, and this heat will block cell entry. Now, my friends, Elif will talk about some nanotechnology tools inactivate this COVID.